Horror games have the ability to make the player feel unsettled. Most recognisable are your Silent Hills, your Resident Evils, that send the players shaking to their core. But did you know there are some unlikely contenders to this list that most gamers wouldn't even heard of? So here is my top 5 horror games that gamers may never have even heard of. Number 5. Layers of Fear. Layers of Fear is a game similar to PT. It's a psychological horror set in familiar altruistic settings. The difference between this game and other games of the same genre is the story. Layers of Fear is a most surreal interpretation of games of the similar genre, as you play a maddened artist wandering the halls of his seemingly haunted mansion. The scenes will shift behind your back, doors appear and paintings warping some horrific images like an insane version of Mario 64. The game plays on a visceral kind of level as images are seen via your own peripheral vision. It's bold, brash and extremely creative, turning your wandering environment into a house of horrors, so to speak, as you discover the true depths of your protagonist's madness. Number 4. Lone Survivor. Jasper Bine made his name making Silent Hill into a 2D game, and you feel this kind of influence in the series throughout his side-scrolling indie debut. Creeping through monstrous escapes and barely lit corridors, the world seems to shift around you, all wondering whether or not your intentions are good or bad. The game has a kind of I Am Legend feel to it, as you scavenge for supplies and hide from monsters that invade your environment. On top of this, you have to maintain your sanity as you periodically hallucinate. The longer you're deprived of life's basic necessities, the harder it'll be to tell what's real and what's not, as things get really, really bad. Number 3. Alan Wake. Yes, I know, you can accuse me of cheating with this one. If you owned an Xbox 360, chances are you probably would have either purchased the console with this game or bought it at some point. The game is centered around the title character in Bright Falls, a Twin Peaks inspired town with a terrible secret. You fight against the dark shadows that attempt to take your life as you attempt to understand what's real and what's not, in levels that seem to play out of the novel written by your title character. And the story was one of the first AAA titles to use an episodic format, and has become commonplace to give the game a more structured and bookend plot, filled with twists and revelations. If you haven't played this game, why not? Why haven't you taken the 360 controller and scared yourself out of your comfort zone, whilst immersing yourself in a story which exemplifies why the 360 is one of the best consoles of its day? Number 2. Eternal Darkness. Sanity's Requiem. Are you a fan of the Lovecraftian monsters, Romans, and games that play with your own sanity? Well, Eternal Darkness relies on the fear of the unknown and terrorizes you. This game plays with your innermost fears, making you think that the console is crashing, that your controller is unplugged, and everything is exploding around you. The game is a mystery upon itself that may just make you feel more or less confused. Number 1. Fatal Frame 2. Crimson Butterfly. As a fan of the Japanese horror genre based upon folklore, this is where Fatal Frame has made its money, bringing about lore that is unsettling but realistic, characters that are frozen in place with fear, and the only weapon against the soul-stealing ghosts is an ancient camera. This means the only way to fight your enemies is to face them head on. Terrifying proposition to say the least. But the game does this with charm. The franchise has several great entries, but the second game is one of the best that stands the test of time, with updated graphics and a more advanced difficulty setting. You find yourself immersing yourself in the story of a personal journey between two sisters dealing with loss and guilt. It's always nice when the intense experience is backed up by a plot that is only deepened by your own survival. So that's it from me, guys, and as always, this is a channel for discussion purposes. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gents, and drop a comment below and tell me your horror games. Have I missed anything on this list? Do you agree or do you disagree? Please let me know. This video is also sponsored by the website known as Ure. Is a site which focuses on its enthusiasm of horror, that its unifying passion of its creators. All horror-based reviews, of course, and such as movie files or even top 5s will be linked to that site, as well as articles and blogs from horror reviewers and aficionados. So make sure that you check that out. The description for the site and also the link is down below. And as always, guys, this is Michael Burhan saying that I've got gameplay. Have you?